Bam, you're an artist on record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist, Doug COSMO CLIFFORD of Creedence Clearwater Revival. He has new music straight from COSMO'S vault, California Gold, featuring Bobby Whitlock of Derek and the Domino. Get your hands together and make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss any other episodes. It's all happening now. Don't touch that dial, kids. Bam.
John Sebastian. It's time I must.
Now, John, I believe John lives in Woodstock now, Sebastian. I think that's where he is.
Huh. Yeah, he's lived there a long time.
A long time. Long time.
We were putting a band together at one point with Duck Dunn on bass, Richard Manuel, John, and me. But Duck was hanging out with Belushi, and he was getting whacked in Chicago and never showed up. So I spent a week at John's house, just seeing what might be possible, who we might be able to get, whatever. It didn't happen. It would have been great, but that's the way it goes.
That was probably around the time with the Blues Brothers time. Was it around then?
It was around then.
Around that time.
The California Gold album was done in '78, and that was just before Duck went into the Blues Brothers. And he was in there for a long time. They made movies, and he was his dream come true. All the great records that Duck played on, and ends up being a movie star.
It's so crazy. I know, it's like one of those things, all the great records he played on, and back then nobody really knew the musicians, the fans that are out there. They didn't know who the Funk Brothers and Motown. Nobody knew who these players were. James Jamerson, they just heard the songs.
Right.
But Blues Brothers brought those guys out, like Steve Cropper. They brought those guys a little more to the forefront.
Well, the Stax Records house band was Booker T and the MGs.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear Otis Redding's album? That's Booker T and the MGs playing the music behind the vocal.
It's incredible.
Sam and Dave, same thing.
Amazing.
Albums with Duck, produced 2 of them, and some other projects, a couple of side projects in Nashville and so forth. Yeah, what a guy.
Now, California Gold. So it was from your vaults, the COSMO'S vaults over here. So you had it hidden, or what was the story with this when you just released it? Tell us.
Well, I wanted to start a band. I was with Duck. I said, Duck, I'm putting a band together. Do you know any singers of merit that might want to work with me? And he says, yeah. He says, Bobby Whitlock. And I said, Bobby Whitlock. He said, Derek and the Dominoes. Oh, yeah, sure. So he came up to my house in the Bay Area, and we hit it off, and so Duck was in. This is before the Blues Brothers, and we started writing, and all the songs on that record, and then anything we recorded were co-written by Bobby and I, and when Duck left, that kind of left a hole, obviously. And then the guitar player, we had something else going on, and Bobby's wife wanted to go here. So it was going to be a demo to get a deal, not a record to put out to the public. But, you want to, if you're looking to get a deal with a record company, you better give them a record quality demo, and so when I produce whenever I produce something, I produce it as if it's going to be out to the public or for a label. So I don't. If somebody says you have a demo, I'm not going to send them an acoustic guitar with one guy singing the note. I'm going to send them a produced, well played, good song demo, and that's what that was. And so when it sort of vaporized. I put it in, as I refer to it, COSMO'S vault. It was in a shelf in my garage, in a closet in my garage, where it's a concrete floor, and it was a good place to store audio tape.
Just had it hidden over there in the garage. That's
I
it.
bought a whole bunch. I got an album that I did with Steve Wright from Greg Kinn.
Of course, Road Jeopardy. with
Yeah,
him.
yeah. And he's from my hometown, and I went to high school with his brother, and so same thing. We were the writers. We did all the writing, and just the two of us, and that's the way I like to work, and keep it clean, keep it focused, and focus on the songs. And so that was in the vault. That actually got released, and so then I did a solo album, and same thing. I had 3 songs in that album that I wrote all. I had no co-writer, and then the rest were co-written by different guys, but it was one person, other person. And that all of that's in the vault. Then I've got more of stuff of mine that's in there, at least an album's worth. And then I've got some things with Doug Somm. I've got some things with Louis Ortega from the Sir Douglas Quintet. So there's a little treasure trove there.
There was an article or something, and you said about your voice, and I had to disagree with you. I'm like, on your first solo record that you put out, I was listening to even the track "I'm a Man," but just some of the vocals that you were doing. I'm like, the guy is great over here, you know? It's like kick ass.
I always thought that I did a terrible job singing.
No, not at all. And I'm not saying it because you're here, and I'm giving credit where it's due. It's not only on your drumming and the heart and soul. It's just you have a lot of soul in your vocal. But no, you got like some great vocal, and it's just like, yeah. And I read some article where you were like, my voice, whatever. I'm like, he's crazy. I'm telling you, you're crazy, because it's great. It's great, and I'm here to tell you that. And
Thanks very much. Well,
yeah.
Stu Cook, my old buddy, he loves that record, and he's all along told me that I did a really good job singing. I said, I say everything but the vocal, but it was not an artistic.
Now with Bobby, another great singer, another great songwriter, you guys working together. That's very cool too.
Well, I made him quit smoking cigarettes. I was financing this whole band and everything. And so I had some say, and I said, "You got to quit smoking cigarettes," because we were in rehearsals. He would start crapping out a little bit. So he did, and then after about 3 weeks, I said, "Okay, now next phase 2 of your workout, you're going to start jogging every day, and you can do it whenever you want, but I suggest you do it in the morning. Start your day off." And that's man, what a difference. You would have heard some of the rehearsals, and when you all of a sudden you have something like that happen to you, and then you're getting off on your vocals as if it's somebody else. You're free. And he sang his ass off on this record.
Oh my God, it's so funny that you're making him do this. It's like he's on track over here working out for a thing, and he's coming from playing with like Eric Clapton, where it's a whole nother world. It's Partyville over there,
We're not doing that.
A whole nother thing. But you know what? You got the best out of him on this
Oh,
record.
yeah, everybody, that's the first thing they say, you know, they say, God, Whitlock's singing his ass off. Yeah, you bet he is. He's into it. And his bit, you know, you compare it to some of the stuff he did with Delaney and Bonnie, it's actually even better than some of the vocals that he did.
Great musician, great player. And so when you guys were recording California Gold, how long was he on the clean path now this whole time?
Months.
Months. Did he complain about it? Like, hey, come
He
on.
didn't complain about it. We went over to, occasionally I'd go over to the house and run up the hill with him. And I could tell from rehearsals, you know, my ears were saying, you know, this is what's being covered up by Marlboros and no exercise. So I know how to take care of that. So
Very good. Now you never smoked anything like that? Cigarettes or no? Have you ever smoked cigarettes or anything or no? You always no. What a good boy you've been, man. But while I have you here, I know they're hard. It's like it's a baby, it's a project, and hard to pick. But if my viewers are watching right now and they're gonna go download anything or check out anything, give me 3 good songs that you like, or your top 3 off your new album, California Gold. Which ones would they be?
Okay. Wow. Turn the beat around. Always darkest for the dawn. And that's kind of a ballad, but it's got a very strong, positive message, but at the same time, it's a serious message, like kind of what's going on in the world now. And Purple Mountain.
Purple Mountain.
Yeah.
That was Doug Cosmo Clifford. If you want to see more of this episode, unedited, uncut, join us in Patreon. And you can also find California Gold. Links are in our description down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, and please leave us your comments down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Until then, everybody, we'll see you next week. And remember, click on the box that pops up over here. Who loves you, baby? We do. Until then, we'll see you all later. Now get out of here, you crazy kids.